Hello, it's Keith here, and this is lesson 1 of the simple series of my IBM370 assembly programming tutorials. In the simple series of my assembly tutorials, we create a single ASM file that does a job. Now, in the case of the IBM370, it's actually a JCL file, a job file. So this is going to be a self-contained file that's going to do a simple task. Today's simple task is just to say hello world, really. Now, I do assume you have a working Hercules emulator on your machine. I use the Hercules emulator in my tutorials. There's some links on my website. You can download the emulator, and there's a guide to doing the setup, and that is the guide that I followed. However, you're welcome to download my pre-configured server setup with the automated scripts for starting the server and running the code. Now, I'm assuming you've got a working server and you know how to start it up. I'm just going to be showing you the ASM file today. So as I say, if you don't have those, I'd suggest you try mine, and hopefully they'll work for you on your machine. I'm running on Windows 10 today. They also work on Windows 7, so hopefully they'll work for you. Anyway, that's what we're going to be looking at today. So let's go over to our source code and let's start up our server and let's see what we've got. Okay, so here's the file we're going to be looking at. Hello JCL. So this is the file, and let's start it up. Now, this is slightly different to the version I've used before. So the script we're going to run here is Hercules job. This is for an entire JCL file. There's the basic header and footer, but that's for incomplete files that need a header and footer attaching. My main tutorials, you see, have a lot of shared scripts. Now, off screen over here, the server is starting up, and there's some scripts doing some send keys to get the terminal window set up correctly and everything. And it looks like it's been as late. Okay, I think that's all working there then. So it looks like we've got some output there. Now, okay, so it looks like our server has started up correctly. Now, what I tend to do just to check everything's working okay is I change the message here. So it says WTO says hello. So we'll change that to a triple question mark, and we'll run this again, and we'll see if the output shows that triple question mark. Because if it doesn't, we're showing old text, which does, if the server's getting backlogged, certainly sometimes that happens. But it didn't happen today, so we are running the live version there. Just something to bear in mind. I've had that mistake where the code isn't assembling, I'm not reading the output properly, and I don't realize, and so I'm running old code and wondering why my changes aren't working. Okay, so this is a bare minimum job file that works on the Hercules emulator. I'm not saying it's going to work on other platforms because it's only compatible with this one. I saw loads of examples online I couldn't get working. All I'm saying is this works with this version. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got here. Now, the first thing to note is we've got our ASM code in the middle here, but we've got these lines that start with a double slash, and these are the job control language lines here. If you need to know the full language details of the JCL, there is a link to the official documentation, which I've used to sort of give my summary here. I've never used an IBM 370. I'm not old enough to remember them being created, so all I know about them is what I've learned from this emulator, using this emulator and writing these tutorials. I purely did this for fun. I have no professional experience in this, but anyway. So the first line here is declaring the job. So we're giving it a short name here. That is the name of the job, and we're giving it a descriptive name here. And there's some settings that are being passed over. Now, basically, these here are telling it how to output its messages, and so we're basically telling it to output all of its messages so that we get the full information from it. And then here we're defining the amount of memory it needs, I believe that is. And as I say, these are just the initialization of the job and giving it a name here. Okay, so we've given it the name ASMFCLG here. Now, the job we're going to do is going to execute this ASMCLG program. This is actually a program within the Hercules emulator, and this is basically the assemble, link, and execute task. So this does everything for us. It assembles it into a runnable binary, and it runs it, and the output goes to the terminal window. So it's actually shown on screen. You see on our terminal window here, you can see it. You can see it just here, and it's also outputted to the text file mvslog.txt. I've got these little programs here that I wrote. These are some programs that I wrote in .NET, and they basically do an intelligent tale of these log files. So basically, they're looking for certain lines and ignoring other ones because there's some weird things. Some of them have printer output, like for end of pages and things. We don't want to see that. So this one's looking for errors, and this one's just looking for the most recent content so that we can see the actual output very clearly within our terminal window here. So as I say, that is actually sort of being converted for us. And so, as I say, what we've got here is declaring the job. Here we're actually executing the job. And then the lines here are the actual program code. Now, the last line here is a null line of the job file. And that S shouldn't be there. We'll delete that. Now, I don't believe you actually need this. Another interesting thing that you don't actually need, if we go over to this other example, which I was using before, and this is based on an example I found online. Some of them I couldn't get to compile on this simulator, but this one did. Now, we've got these DDs, and this is data definition, and so this is, I believe, defining various variables that relate to, I think these are sort of like the hardware that is being connected for this system, defining what hardware we're going to use. But we don't seem to need any of these for this simulator. But this line surprised me a little bit more. Now, this DD star is a bit of a special one, and what this basically says is that everything after this line is being passed as input to the following program. So basically our ASM code. But again, I took this out of this example, and it didn't seem to make the blindest bit of difference, which sort of surprised me. I don't know what's normal for this hardware. All I know is what works on this emulator. So I'd say I've taken that out because it didn't seem to be needed. But anyway, so that's declaring our job, and then everything else is the actual ASM file here. Now, a couple of points. I've put semicolons in here, but that's just for the nice colouring of Notepad++. You don't need semicolons. The assembler doesn't actually treat them as anything. A star at the start of a line like this defines the line as a comment. The other thing that's a comment is a line basically about past the midpoint after some other code. So we've got some code here, and then anything around this point will be ignored after that program code. Again, I've put a star and a semicolon just for consistency, so that when the viewer sees it, they know it's a comment. But that star and that semicolon is not what's defining this as a comment. We could take those out. It would still be treated as a comment. Now, other thing to note, if you see my other tutorials, is previously I've defined register labels that look really nice and make it nice and clear what's going on. I've taken them out in this case because I wanted something really totally minimal. So when you see something like LA1, my hello here, this is loading the address of my hello into register 1. That 1 is not a number 1, it's register 1. But not as clear, but as I say, for minimalism, that is more appropriate, I felt. Now, at the start of our program, we're defining the program section hello. We've mentioned it up here as well when we're executing here, but this csect and this end are the actual program itself. Now, at the start of our program, we've got this save macro here, and this is basically saving all of the system registers. The way this processor works is it uses register 13, a bit like a stack. It's actually called a save area, but it's very similar to a stack. And so we're saving basically all the registers except register 13 to the address in register 13. And this is restoring them, and it's setting the return code to 0 here. So that is the equivalent, the opposite of save here. Now, what we've got here is something a little bit tricky. Now, the branch and link register here is supposed to be a jump, but with this configuration it doesn't actually jump anywhere. What we're doing here with that branch and link register is we're setting the register 12 to the current line of running code when the program is executed. The reason we're doing that is the following line, this using command, is telling the assembler you can use register 12 to calculate addresses. So when you do things like this, the assembler is actually converting that to an offset from register 12, but it needs to know that it should use register 12, and register 12 needs to be set via this BALR to the current program counter, and it's that 0 after the register 12 number that defines that actually it doesn't jump anywhere, it just returns straight away. So anyway, if you're making your own programs, I would generally suggest you leave all of that the same, you leave all of that the same, and you just mess with the bits in between, and you should have a reasonably comfortable day. Anyway, so we're going to show two hello messages. The first one says WTO says hello, and the second one says hello dad, because I've used hello mum before. So the WTO is a macro, so this is actually being converted to multiple lines of code. So when we do WTO says hello, other things will happen behind the scenes. We'll have a look at them in a moment. So that's just a very easy way of getting some text to the screen. The more complex way is what we've got below. So we're loading the address of my hello into register 1, and we're running service call 035. Now the text my hello here, this is a label, and it's got a pointer to some data. So here is the string we want to show. It's a set defined as characters. These 0H's, these are basically aligning us to a half. That it needs to be 16-bit aligned, but not 32-bit aligned. So that's what that's doing there. Now here we're defining that there's going to be 14 bytes. Now if we look here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So our string is only 10, but we've got a 16-bit value here, 11, 12, and a 16-bit value here for 14. So this is all of the bytes together, and this is the flags. So this is just a value that we have to give to the service 35 for it to work correctly. Okay, so that's what we've got there. We'll just run it again, check it still runs. Okay, now how do we actually run this? Well, when I do F6 here and I select Hercules job, that's actually running a script in the background. So let's take a look at that script. So here's the script. Now a lot of this has been sort of copied from my other tutorials, so we don't need to worry about most of this. Really the main thing to notice is that we're using a type command and we're sending the job file, which will have been copied to source.job by that point. We're using the ncat that's provided with MVS. And one thing I should warn you is you might find that your antivirus might get a bit frisky and delete that. So just check Windows Defender logs and see if ncat is there. The ncat that's provided, I'm providing my download, is the same one as came with Hercules. If you choose not to trust it, that's up to you, but you'll have to find your own way of getting the data to it, to the server. So we're sending this. We're not doing a two-way communication, and we're sending it to the local host, the current server, the current machine, and to this port here. So that is outputting the source job, and that is basically copied from the documentation on how a basic example on the documentation on how to use the server. So I haven't done anything clever there. All I've done basically is I've put in some task kills and some sleeps and a few other little bits. I'm building up the job potentially from multiple ASM files. So I couldn't find out how to include other files, so I'm just combining them there. And then the other thing I've done is I've written this program here that actually looks at the log files and summarizes the results. Now what we're going to do now is we're just going to see those log files. So if we go to the right folder here. Now the printer output is in this file here, and so this would actually be printed to a printer, and this is being summarized here, and we're only looking for errors here. So you can see all of the code here, and what I'm going to show you here is the WTO says hello. Now, as I said before, that is actually a macro, and if we look at our original program, what we had is WTO says hello, and then we had LA1, my hello. But when we look at actually what was assembled here, we don't have that. We have all kinds of other things here. And what we've got here is we're branching and we're jumping over the next few lines. And the next few lines are basically defining defining exactly what I just did with the hello dad thing. This is the length of the data that follows. This is the flags, this 0 flag here, and then we've got the message here as byte data. And so in case you can't guess, basically what I did when I created this version here is I took what the macro did and just moved it around a bit. So instead of jumping over it, I've put it after the end of the program code. But this was basically generated by that macro. I just pulled it out of the printer output. Now the other output we have is the MVS log, and if we just look at that, so this is I think this is actually effectively an output of the stuff that's outputted to the terminal here. But if we look here, you can see you've got the lines here, and again I'm basically just tailing that here to show this information here. So those little programs, those C# programs I wrote, were just to quickly get the summary so that I didn't need to keep looking at those log files. This one specifically looks for lines that look like errors, and this one's just really tailing the file and finding what's changed since last time. Anyway, that's all we've got today. As I say, go to my website, download the source code and the build scripts, and I'd suggest you try and use my Hercules, my copy of the pre-configured operating system. You're obviously welcome to create it yourself. I managed it. I'm no genius, but I managed it after a few tries. So one thing I would advise if you try it yourself is if you're like me, you'll probably make a few mistakes along the way because you don't read things properly sometimes. When you get the server set up one stage and you have to do it in a bunch more stages, make backups of the server, copy the folder, and that way if you find you've done the last stages wrong, you can reset to a previous stage fairly quickly. That's something I learned because I did make some mistakes and had to redo it a few times before I realized I should have been doing that. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. If you want to see more IBM 370, I've got a whole series of tutorials on it now, so go ahead and enjoy those. And as I always say, I also have loads of other tutorials on pretty much all the other major assembly languages now, so check those out if this isn't to your taste. Thanks for watching today, and goodbye.